Obviously, the rest of the current NBA season is going to be vital for the Toronto Raptors trying to get themselves back into a playoff position. But if future aspirations are for an NBA championship, then you need to have an eye on what is ahead. And as we get into February and March, it's peak scouting season, and the Raptors are going to have an eye on the 2022 NBA entry draft. So in today's video, we're going to talk about way too early what the Raptors should be planning on doing as we get to that draft. We need a center for the team. So is that the time to get it? Let's get into it. Welcome Raptors fans to Amateur Hour Sports, the channel where you get NBA content with a focus on the Toronto Raptors at least 4 times a week. So if you like the Toronto Raptors, then you're going to love Amateur Sports. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're on a road to 9,000 subscribers and you can help us get there. But let's get into the content for today's video. We're talking about what the Raptors are going to be doing right now to get themselves ready for that 2022 NBA entry draft. Because obviously a lot of the focus is going to be on winning this season. And the pick that we expect to have in the first round is a really big margin because the Raptors in a playing spot could move up into a better playoff position, but also could move down further into a lottery position. And right now, we're looking like we're going to have a pick from the 10 to 17 range in the first round. We do not have our own second round pick this season, which is a bit of a shame because we could really use that extra little bit of depth. But we have to have that focus on the first round pick. And coming into February here, and as we go into March, get into March Madness, the Raptors scouting team is going to have a lot of focus on which player is going to fit for them. And the Raptors, they're coming off of one of their best drafts in my lifetime, drafting Scottie Barnes with the 4th overall pick. But 2 years ago, maybe there is a little bit of a blemish on that Masai Ujiri draft resume in drafting Malachi Flynn. Jury might still be out on the player, but looking at it right now, it hasn't been great. But maybe we rectified that by drafting Scottie Barnes with the 4th overall pick, who is looking way ahead of schedule. And the biggest thing missing with the Raptors right now is a true center for this team. The second biggest thing missing for this team is that bench depth. That needs a lot of help. And recently, a lot of people have been reaching out to me regarding draft talk, regarding who's my favorite player in the draft, who I think the Raptors should be looking to take in the draft, and pitching me their ideas for where the Raptors should go in the draft. Lots of people have a big focus on drafting a center because we need a center. And lots of people last season thought we should put a focus on drafting a center and drafting maybe a point guard to help out this team. And sure, those things made a lot of sense, but that's just not how the Toronto Raptors operate. We learned last season that it was about the player a lot more than the fit, because drafting a forward didn't seem like the right thing to do, given the fact that we already had Pascal Siakam, given the fact that we already had OG Anunoby. Why would we draft another forward who probably couldn't start with them? But talent always finds a way to succeed on the team. And I think that is a great example last season with Scottie Barnes coming to the team. We've had to make room in the starting lineup to get him more game time because he's just that good. The good players find a way to fit in on the team. The players who aren't as good expect the coach, expect the team to make room for them. But guys like Scottie Barnes have forced themselves into that starting lineup and force you to start them in every game, because if you don't, you're going to be missing the talent. You're going to be missing that player in his minutes. I think starting as well is good for the confidence right now, because even though when we're fully healthy, maybe he gets subbed out first, just having that start does kind of settle him into the game, even though he does get a lot of minutes with the bench unit, who is desperately struggling. But again, the biggest thing that this team needs right now is that center for the team. But like I've just been mentioning, that is not how we operate. The Raptors are not going to go into this draft focused on centers. Obviously, knowing that we need that position, we are going to be thinking about that a lot. But if we get into the draft and there is a better player available than a center, Masai Ujiri and his team is not going to hesitate to find that player. We also don't know exactly what the Raptors want in their center, because right now we're trying to build this positionless game where there's 5 guys on the floor who can guard any of the 5 positions, rotate heavy on defense. And it kind of works. But it is just missing that true rim protector. You can't just get any old rim protector. You need to find a rim protector who's also going to help this team on the outside, who can switch onto the outside, play defense on the perimeter. Something we missed last season. We had Aaron Baines, Alex Len, those guys couldn't defend the perimeter at all, and we suffered as a result. We waived Alex Len during the season. We waived Aaron Baines at the end of the season, not to mention the fact that they lacked a lot of offensive productivity. There are a lot of other things involved in that, but one of the biggest things was that they couldn't help us on defense the way we wanted to play. So this season, we did not make that mistake in signing any old center. We needed one who could fit our team. But getting into the draft, we need to find the best talented player available. Those true bigs who just don't really have a lot of mobility are kind of going out of fashion in the league. And the Raptors just scrapped it all together, not using a center in a lot of the games, just playing 4 forwards and a point guard. Sometimes they'll play with 5 forwards on the court. So the Raptors are going to be looking for players who kind of fit with that. But again, at the end of the day, it is going to come down to talent. It sure as hell made a lot more sense to draft Jalen Suggs than draft Scotty Barnes. And if I had the choice, I would have made that selection for Jalen Suggs. And many of you watching this would have made that selection for Jalen Suggs. But the Raptors, the development team, they know what they are doing. Masai Ujiri has a great track record as it comes to drafts. And obviously, there's going to be some blemishes on that. I already named Malachi Flynn. I could also name Bruno Caboclo among maybe a few others. But usually, he gets it right. And it's going to come down to the same thing it came down to last season. It's going to come down to the fact that I trust Masai, and you should as well. He already got us to a championship. He knows what he's doing. Winning a championship, we sacrificed a lot. We sacrificed picks, and we sacrificed younger players to get people that would help us win now. And win is what we did. We won that championship, and we are kind of facing the repercussions of those trades. It's going to take a while to build it up. Look at how long it took us to build that up into a championship team to really get over the line. It took like 7, 8 years, maybe even more years of work to get into that position. So it's not going to happen overnight, but there are players you can get in the draft in that 10 to 17 range where I expect us to be that can help you out immediately. But there is going to be a primary focus on the talent of the player, and there's going to be a secondary focus on the way the Raptors conduct their basketball on the court with that rotation-heavy style, that fast-paced offense, that transition play, getting steals, crashing the offensive glass. These things are going to come into consideration, but like I said, talent finds a way. So if the guy isn't necessarily the greatest fit, like Scotty Barnes may not have been from day one, great players find a way, and Scotty Barnes is a great player who absolutely found a way to make himself relevant and make himself one of the first players on that list in the starting 5. And another big thing, we can't really name names on who to draft right now because it's February. Things can change. If you ask NBA scouts in early February of last year if Scotty Barnes they thought would go 4th overall and be in the running for Rookie of the Year, they would have said no. They probably would have said no, but things changed. These players develop. This is the key moment for a lot of these college players to make a name for themselves. And the biggest stage to make a name for yourself is that March Madness. You go on a run with your team and you're the best player on your team. When you go on that run, get to like the Final Four, get to the final, win a national title, that's going to turn some heads. That's going to get you on a lot of draft boards. So it's way too early to pick a specific player that the Raptors should be looking to get in the draft. We don't know where we're going to be. We don't know what to expect from some of these players as they finish off their college season. But one thing is for certain. Well, 2 things are for certain. The first thing is the Raptors are going to draft who they think is the most talented player available and the player that they think they can get the most out of with their development. They know the type of player they want to use. They know the type of player they want to develop. They have one of the best development systems in the league. They want to find a player they can plug into that and know they can get a huge output from that specific player. The second thing I know for certain is that I trust the people involved. I trust Masai Ujiri. I trust Bobby Webster to get it right on draft night. Last season, again, in the offseason, I was a little bit upset. I was a little bit shocked when we took Jalen Suggs. But at the end of the day, I knew that there was somebody who knew more than I did, who studied more of these players than I did, and had a better understanding of the game than I did in Masai Ujiri, his team of people. They took Scotty Barnes, and I accepted that. Look at how we're reaping the benefits now. But as we get into the draft this season, it's way too early to find that specific player, but just know that we are going to be looking for talent. As much as we need a center for this team, we are going to be looking at talent. If the most talented player is a center, excellent. If it's not a center, that's okay. We'll draft him. We'll find another way to plug the hole for that center position. We're already looking for one as we get towards the trade deadline. By the time this video comes out, maybe we've already found that center that this team needs, but Irregardless of the situation, Raptors expect him to get that best player. Trust Masai Ujiri, same story as last season. So I know I just said it's a little too early to find a specific player to be excited about, but are there any that you're wanting the Raptors to look at in the NBA draft? Let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. I need to start doing my NBA draft studying, so maybe I can take a look at these players you suggest and see if they would fit with the Raptors. But that is it for me for today. Make sure to drop a like on the video if you did enjoy. It goes a long way to supporting the channel, growing the brand, and make sure if it is your first time here with me today and you like the video, that you subscribe to the channel. You help us on the road to 9,000 subscribers. I promise you will not regret it. We got so much great Raptors videos coming your way that I do not want you to miss. Right now I'm on vacation. This video was recorded on January 31st. If things have changed, if there is new information that doesn't make sense for this video, I am sorry. I'm on vacation, doing my best to keep you guys entertained. Look at how much I'm doing to keep these videos going. You know, I'll see you again next time for another video.